Hey troops, Roy from Geeks Adventures, woohoo! Broadcasting from the set of Lovecraft Wars and whatever other, like, tokusatsu stuff I want to do. Anyway, yes, it's done! Yay! Finally! Yay! Well, it's done as these things ever are done. So yeah, if you recall from the last video I did specifically, I'll have the link in the little description below. I talked about, okay, most of the giant robot exoskeleton thingy is done. I need to work on the Orbots. So the Orbots are done! Yay! Along with, got ideas for Rob and Ono, and what to do about the beam car, replacement for the beam car. Okay, are we ready? Cool, let's go! Alrighty, let's start with the basics. We're going to start with Rob and Ono. And yes, this is I don't remember what line this is from, but anyway, managed to find a person with glasses. I'm like, oh, cool, perfect for Rob. And Ono is thinking, okay, what am I going to use? Yada, yada, yada. And I got lucky and hey, rescue. Yeah, cool. So we got these two. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do now? You're wondering, so what's this guy in the back? Okay, so if you're familiar with the show, what happens is that whenever they go on a mission as Mighty Orbots, what happens is Rob puts on the uniform, the Omni suit, to become the Orbots commander. So hypothetically, whatever this project, if it ever gets off the ground, okay, wanted to find a unsuited Rob. I'm like, okay, what are we going to do for Rob in a suit? Do we want to get something armored? Blah, 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 blah. And same thing with Ono. I'm like, okay, what am I going to find? And, okay, I found the rescue piece, but what am I going to do? And then, of course, there was also the question of, got to find a beam car, blah, blah, blah. And then I started thinking, well, no one says Rob has to be in a outfit. He needs a helmet, blah, blah, blah. Well, what if I put him in armor? And then all of a sudden, there is literally this moment. I thought, wait a minute. Who says they need to be in a car? What if Ono, who is is an Orbot robot, whatever the heck you want to call it, becomes armor for Rob? And that's where this idea came in. This is a Wildfire figure from HeroClix DC from the Legion of Superheroes group. And it's perfect. You got the giant helmet look, a little backpacky thing, all this stuff. It's like, oh, and all of a sudden, hey, don't have to worry about no stinking beam car. All of a sudden now, okay, you get a transformation moment where, time to put on Omni suit. Okay, Rob. Effect, blah, 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 blah. I am Orbot's commander, or whatever voice comes up. But you get the idea. And this, in turn, merges into Mighty Orbots. Woo! Yay! And one less thing to build. Woohoo! Less fabrication good. All right, so what's the deal with the Orbots? Now, like I said, remember, look at the link below. Towards the end of that particular episode, you get to see what the original drones were going to look like. Okay, they were based from a piece I made a long time ago. So what do they look now as? Orbots. All right, let's go. All righty, those of you familiar with the show, you're going, why is there 6? Well, we'll get to it. Give me a minute. So here we go. We've got the, let's see here. We've got Bo and Boo, the orange and yellow. And if you're wondering, no, have not gotten to painting yet. Look, I'm tired, okay? It was a lot of energy to do the fabrication. And the funny thing is that the initial thought was, okay, how long was it going to take to put these things together and stuff? Well, it's never a simple fabrication. Never easy. No. So anyway, so here we go. Bo and Boo. And we've got here, of course, the leg section. And they're the arms of Mighty Orbots. Then you've got Bort and Crunch, the 2 legs. Back here you got Tor, who's the torso, the middle section. And then finally, a 6 Orbot, Uncle Bob. And you're going, what the heck are you talking about? Give me a minute. We'll explain. So here we go with Bo and Boo. Basically, these are the arm sections from the Manga Spawn figure. And as you can see, nothing really too fancy. Just did a couple of just added to correspond with the idea that Bo is the offensive section and Boo is the defensive section. And I added on this little orange cannony thing to it to the arm section. And this little yellowish shield thing. Like I said, these aren't painted, okay? But this is just a general idea of what they're going to look like. And if you're wondering, yes, the whole blue jewel thing, this was on the initial build. And I thought, you know what, it's kind of cool. Adds a little pop. And, well, it's part of the merging processor, blah, 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 blah thing. Yeah, that's why it's there. Yeah. Never mind. It's sci-fi techno stuff. There's logic in my brain. All right. Logic. Be afraid. So yeah. So these are those two pieces. So yeah. Things got a little more complicated with Bort and with Crunch. With Bort now, remember in the cartoon, he has the ability to take his body and kind of become all these multi-purpose devices, machines, whatever. So I wasn't too sure. I decided to translate that visually, give all these little like sensor arms and stuff so that he can use these pieces to create more machines, and also as a kind of alternative take on his ability, he can use this stuff to merge into other machines, kind of bond into them, and create extensions and blah 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 blah. Whatever tech the plot requires. Crunch gets interesting now because you're looking at this go, what the heck? What do you do with Crunch besides give him a giant Pac-Man mouth? And I almost did that. I had this giant conical piece. I was thinking, okay, I could put it in the front, I guess. And then it dawned on me, wait a minute. It's like a giant vacuum. Yeah, so that's what I ended up doing here, is that took the conical piece, split it in half, attached these two other pieces, so these become these giant receptacles for matter that he can consume and turn into energy. And as an extension, in my head canon at least, he can use tractor beams, electromagnetic fields, blah blah blah, to attract or repel matter to consume, yada yada yada, which you can also use as a form of offensive or defensive power to force things away, punch them away, blah 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 blah. Yes, way too much overthinking, but then I'm a writer and yada yada yada, so hey, that's what we do. Okay, now you're going, you better explain what the heck's going on with Tor and the other guy. It's coming. Alrighty, Tor and Uncle Bob. Okay, let's get rid of the obvious. Here's Tor on the central torso piece. And with Tor, what I thought would be kind of cool is, since he is the big, strong person, and actually in many ways the central structural, holds all the pieces together to make sure Mighty Orbots doesn't just fly apart. Gave him like these big, beefy limbs that can be used as weapons, yada, yada, yada. And whatever else techie things my headcanon comes to mind, and, the ongoing idea of the blue jewel as the central merging processor thing, yada, yada, yada. Now this thing. So now remember in the last video, the drones are created for that other piece. There were a total of 7 drones that I built from the pieces of the Manga Spawn mech. And I got all the other Orbots built. I'm like, these last 2 pieces look kind of cool. They want to just toss them. They look kind of cool. Look like they kind of belonged with everything else. And I started thinking more and more, and I'm like, well, okay, what would be another piece that Mighty Orbots could be handy? And the idea of Mighty Orbots is that it's not just, giant robot, pew, 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 pew. It's meant to be a emergency rescue, a multifunctional mech for anything that happens in this universe. So I thought, well, you've got Bort that makes equipment. You've got Crunch who generates power for all the mechs. You got Tor that can strong arm things. You got Bo that can, mistress of the elements, basically offensive firepower, defensive and like illusionary things. force fields and whatnot with Boo. What else do you need? And it's like, wait a minute. What about data? What about surveillance? What about, having, as Ned says in Iron Man and Spider-Man, throughout the two movies, chair guy. That's what this drone became. It's this giant flying platform with lots of antennas, sensors, yada yada yada. Now the problem, and what happens is that this becomes, if you recall, in the manga Spawn figure, it's got a backpack. Well, in the Mighty Orbots form, this becomes the backpack. It's a tiny backpack. You barely see it. Where the white pipey things? Yeah. Now, of course, you got to have a name because you got names for everything else. I'm like, great, what name? And it's like, all right, technically should be the name derived from robots. Tor. Okay, fine. So Crunch and Ono are cheating, but you get the idea. What name? What? Bo, Boo, Tor, and then all of a sudden, Uncle Bob. And you're going, why Uncle Bob? Remember Terminator 2? Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob. I'm tired, okay? I'm a burned out geek building stuff, so Uncle Bob it is. Yeah, so there. Alrighty, and so now you're wondering, what is it now all merging into? And here it is in all of its obnoxious kit bash. Dear Lord, Roy, what were you thinking, Glory? And the name I've rechristened it as, because calling it the exoskeleton was really lame, boring, and then, I was thinking about the film and doing homage to other anime, things that have influenced me. So, as I'm thinking about weapons and stuff, I'm like, oh, there's going to be the wave motion cannon, there's going to be the Macross barrage, and then, it was one of those moments. This is the Kaiju Buster mode. It's no longer just the exoskeleton, it's the Kaiju Buster mode. So I'm not sure. I have been tinkering with this quite a bit off and on. You're going, yeah, no duh, dude. Since the last time, there's been additions all over the dang place. A lot of it is just adding details because it looks so plain originally. And like I mentioned in I think the last video was that, you want to add detail because that's what makes it fun. So it kind of gives it a sense of pop and life. The biggest things I can remember at this point are going to be like the little orange cannon here, and continuing the theme of Bo being offense, and got the little shield thing of Boo being defense. And here we go, continuing the Uncle Bob thing now, because you're going, wait a minute, is that something on his head? Yes. Because, it looks fine this way, but I'm like, everything else has this giant exoskeleton armor thing. Well, how about his head? And I'm like, ooh, I can make a helmet. And in this case, the helmet is Uncle Bob. And additional data, blah, 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 whatever techno-babble junk I can think of. And fits right on top. Boom. And there it is. It's finally done. I think it's done. I've always been, the way my projects work, if you've been kind of following me over the years, the way these projects go is that, it's a very bad MacGyver way of doing this thing, I imagine. And I don't know, if by chance someone who does this, hardcore, does it for a living, do you, you know what? No, I think everyone who makes stuff kind of runs into that, where you're always going, is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough? And either if you're doing this as a pro, eventually the deadline and the budget go, no, that's enough. Or if you're doing this, like I am, where this is all fun and because we're all insane artists, artists small a, and that we don't get paid, but it's fun and it's cool to do. Where eventually the brain goes, nah, not enough. You know what? We're tired. But as far as I can think, this is it. Yeah. I know, this thing is a giant wreck. All right. but it's a glorious, massive, pumped up wreck of mecha amazing awesomeness. And you're wondering, dear God, when is this movie gonna come out? I have no idea. I've got the idea of adapting Mighty Orbots Ignition is still out there. Just because it would be fun to do and blah 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 blah. Like I said in my last video though, I mean, I'm just beat. Doing a build like this though is very different from the building I've been doing for and all the work I've been doing for Lovecraft Wars, and that's all part of a very structured thing. This is just putting junk together and going, this is gonna be cool, this is gonna be cool, mecha, mecha. You know, this is all fun and games and foolishness. The idea of the film is a tangent to that. I may eventually just go, we done with this junk, and I'm just gonna drool at the robot. We'll see. We'll see where it goes. The other thing I thought of doing is just doing shorts. You know, just fun, goofy. In a little, and you're going, Roy, it never works out that way. I know, but you get the idea. I want to, anyway, as you can tell right now, there's a lot of ricocheting ideas going all over the place. Where it eventually ends, we'll find out at some point, or I will, and then you'll see it and go, oh, thank God he's done. So anyway, there we go. Mighty Orbots completed. In all of its crazy glory. Anyway, I'm gonna go because I'm really, really tired, and I still need to edit all this junk and try and get some rest because the weekend moves way too fast. Anyway, so hey, I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend. May the force be with you. May the odds be in your favor. And always, most importantly, be good to each other. Okay, peeps. Peace. Bye.